Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Trade by Numbers. I hope you're out there having a great day. This is part 3 of our week-long series on how to get the best bang for your buck. What's the best investment for you? Now, I'm sorry I didn't shoot yesterday. Had some kids sick, throwing up, so just didn't shoot any video, but don't worry, we're going to keep it rolling. We'll do our final video on Saturday and cap everything off. I think you're going to like what I got for you. So, let's get into it. Now, if you are brand new to the channel, my name's Josiah, and I trade stocks and cryptocurrencies for a living, and I'm a full-time investor. Now, if you want to learn how to invest your money so that your money can be working for you instead of you working for money, make sure subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and if you like this content, give me a thumbs up. More importantly, if you want to learn more about all this, you want to have some place where you can bounce ideas off of people or be able to ask questions so that you can avoid some of the pitfalls that's out there, make sure hit the top link below the video, join the Investors Jumpstart program. You'll be able to ask me questions, bounce ideas off of me, and as the channel grows, we're going to be giving away some free cash over there, so you're not going to want to miss out on that. Now, let's talk about today. We are going to be talking about the #1 investing tool in America, and that is the 401k. Now, I'd really hardly call this an investment, and we're going to talk about why that is. However, it is the most used investing tool in America, so we're going to use this as a benchmark. This is not something that's going to have great numbers that you're going to want to go out and jump into, especially after you hear this video. But this will give us a benchmark to kind of measure all of our other investments against at the end of the week. So, let's talk about the 401k. Why is it the #1 tool out there? Well, companies sell you on it. Companies tell you, hey, if you'll just invest into this 401k, we'll match it. And that's where everybody starts talking about, oh, a 401k is fantastic because if I put $100,000 into that 401k, then the company's going to match that, and I'm going to have an instant $200,000 portfolio to be growing. Okay, I'll bite. The problem is that's really the only upside to it. So let's start talking about the downsides to having a 401k and why I don't really even consider this an investment. Now, if it's the only thing you've got out there, then sure, anything is better than nothing. And one of the easy things about it is, of course, skill. There's no real skill required. Let's face it, a chimpanzee can do this. So skill, super low, so we're going to get a good high score there. That's supposed to be a 3. I apologize. My drawing is, my writing is absolutely terrible. But super easy. Like I said, a chimpanzee can do this because the thing about a 401k, you really have no control over it. A fund manager's handling all that. Now, why does companies want to sell you on a 401k? Well, that's what we're going to talk about next, because the other thing, I'm sure someone's going to chime in the comments and say, well, the beauty is you get to invest this money pre-tax. So you're not taxed on it. You get all these great tax advantages. And I'm actually going to give this thing a terrible rating on taxes, because even though you're not paying taxes up front, and when you do pay taxes, it'll be long-term capital gains tax, which is what we talked about on our dividend portfolio, the benefits of long-term capital gains taxes. The problem here is that we are putting off paying taxes until some other date. You're probably not going to cash this out until you've retired. So we're talking 10, 20, 30 years down the road. And historically, taxes have always gone up. So do you really think that taxes won't be higher 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now? So you're going to be paying a higher tax rate then than what you would be paying now. And the other downside for you, and this is the benefit out there to the companies, is you're going to be paying taxes not only on your capital gains, but you're going to be paying taxes on this as well as the match that the company put in. This is why I say 401k is the best tool out there for the big corporations. I'm a big corporation. I've got a 401k plan for my employees. You come in and you start putting into that, and I match that dollar for dollar. That's great for me as the employer, as the company. It's amazing for me. Why? Because if I put $100,000 into your 401k, I get to write that off on my taxes. So I get to write that off, and who pays for that? You do. When you take that money out, you're going to be paying the company's taxes, and they got to take a tax write-off. This is why companies try to sell you on a 401k. This is why it's great for them. It's great for the banks. It's great for taxes down the road because they know they're going to get tax you even heavier than if they'd just taken their taxes out now. So you're going to get hit hard on taxes, which gives our tax bracket a terrible score of just 1. So tax advantages, I don't think that there's any real tax advantages to just having a 401k. Now, is there other things you can do? Roth IRA, something like that? Absolutely. There is some advantages to something like that because at least the capital gains that grow in that, you don't get taxed on. So there's some benefits there, but when we're talking about 401k, I don't like that. It's just never made sense for me. If someone can explain it to make sense to me, I'm all ears, but no one's been able to do so far. And this is where we just keep getting worse because the problem with this 401k is we don't control it. We don't really manage it. It's tied up. So even though we're getting some growth on our portfolio, what's the average growth? They like to tell you that it's going to be 5 to 7% is kind of what they pitch to you. However, realistically, if you Google it, you can see that the average return is only about 4.8%, so a little under 5 actually. But let's go ahead and say that we're going to get a 7% growth, 7% ROI growth, and we're going to be getting this on $200,000 because of the match, of course. So that comes out to about $14,000 in growth per year. Now that's not terrible, but the downside to that is this is all growth in the portfolio. You can't touch that. So when it comes to income, there's no income, zero. You got zero income. So we've got nothing we can work with. Unlike real estate where we've got money coming in from rentals, unlike the dividend portfolio where we have dividends rolling in, with this is just a means of growing your overall portfolio so that you can hopefully one day take advantage of it. And, I'm all about long-term growth, but there's just no real upsides for me here. So my overall return, 14% a year, that's not great, and that's only on that initial investment. Beyond that, we're only gaining on our gains 7%. So overall returns, we're going to get a low score here. Not impressed with this because we're only getting growth. We're not getting any other kind of income on that. Nothing we can really use. And if you pull out early, you're going to be get a penalty on that. Usually about 10%, which is why a lot of people just won't touch it, even if they have a great investing opportunity that they can get into. Even if it's going to make them 40-50%, they're scared to touch it because they're going to get penalized 10% and have to go ahead and pay taxes on that. Now, you've seen me shoot videos before if you've been following me. Are you really losing 10% if you had an investment you could make 50% in? No, you're actually losing 40% by not doing it. But that's a whole nother matter. Back to this, we're going to have to give it a low score here. Now, there is no extra money required, so that's not a big deal. But overall, the 401k, it's I just don't really consider this an investment because there's no real upside to this. The only way this is useful is if it's going to sit there 30, 40 years and you just don't want to have to touch it. But there's definitely faster ways to ramp up your money if you want to get out there and be investing. Take control of it. Take that money that you would put into a 401k and get out there. Start educating yourself on whatever sector you want to go into and start investing yourself. You're going to get a whole lot better returns out there. So this is what we're going to use as kind of our baseline to measure everything else against so that we can see at the end of the week how the different investing strategies stack up. That's what I got for you. I hope that you found this educational. And until next time, remember, be blessed, never trade with your emotions, always trade by the numbers.